Hi, today I'd like to show you a very simple but useful trick for making your text follow a path. Sounds a little complicated, but it's something that you might actually like to use for, say, making a watermark over your image if you're going to post it on sites like Facebook or Instagram. Makes it easy for people to see that you are the image owner. And there's definitely reasons for that. One of them is copyright protection, and one of them is, just showing off your work, making sure everybody knows who made the beautiful photograph. So the first thing that we're going to do is select the text tool, and we click, and you can see that it's easy to make text in a straight line. It's actually even easy to make it go top to bottom if you'd rather go that way. And just as simple as clicking on the toggle text orientation. But sometimes we want to go a little bit more complicated. There are shapes that you can use right within Photoshop. We can do any custom shape tool if we wanted to do a heart or something, if we wanted to do a circle, any of those will work just fine. It doesn't matter what your shape is. For the sake of this, I'm going to go ahead and make the circle. I've added a little bit of color here just so it's easy for you to see, but the shapes that you make can be completely empty, and if you are going to use this for a logo, then that's a good example, and then you would just choose this first option here to make them go away. But again, just for the sake of making it easy for you to see, I'm going to go ahead and give them a little bit of a color so it's easy to follow. Once you have your path, then select the text tool, and now we're going to maybe give a little purple color which will match this collar. And if you look at the cursor when you have the text tool selected, you can see the standard shape. That's going to give you the straight line. Once you get closer to a path, look at how the cursor changes. And you can see it turns into that little squiggly line on the bottom. That's how you know you're ready to click and start typing. And so for this, I'm just going to add my website. And as you notice that I didn't actually center it very well. I did that on purpose so I can show you how you might fix that. There are a couple of ways. So first of all, you can just do the kind of cheater and just add spaces to the front and bring it around as much as you want. We're going to undo that. The easiest thing, especially for something like a circle, is to use the transform tool. And so Control or Command T is going to bring that up. And we're just going to rotate this guy a little bit. So you can see right here this little dot. Keep in mind where that's ending up. And once we're more or less to the point where it's kind of straight at the side, the leftmost side of the circle, then we're going to say OK, and you can see that brings it down. So that circle there is the start of your text, so that's why we want to keep track of that. Now the other thing that you might find really interesting and useful is to make your own path. And so one of the things that I see people do from time to time is kind of follow along the edge of one of the important parts of the image. So obviously for this one, it's a little puppy. And select the pen tool, so that's P is the keyboard shortcut, and we're just going to click along the edge and make a number of very rough selections. You can actually use the path tool for making very, very detailed vector-based selections around your object, and I'd be more than happy to show that to you if you have any interest in it. For the sake of just adding a bit of text around it, there's really no point in being that careful. And of course, with anything, the more time you spend on it, the better it's going to be. But you can see just adding a few little dots here, I've got a pretty good rough selection around the side of the puppy. So now again, I'm going to select the text tool, and again, watch for the cursor to change. And once we've got that little curvy line there, it's ready to start typing. Click and start typing. Now what happened here is I did add an M, it didn't fit, and so that's a good indicator that the path is a little too short for the size that you created. There are a couple things we can do. The easiest thing is just go ahead and select the whole body of the text, which Control A, and then we can change the font size a little bit, and you can see it all comes up there. Now, say I really wanted this to actually fit the whole length that I drew out here. Go ahead and select that all. Choose the little fly out property window for characters, and you see this little one here that says VA. Click on right below the VA, and then drag a little bit to the right, and you can stretch it out just a little bit. And so you can get it to just perfect. And what it's doing here is we're changing the kerneling, which is the space between the letters. Click OK once you're done, and you can see how this is a nice and easy way to add your watermark to an image. If you decide that this is probably a little too close to the puppy, it's as easy as selecting the Move tool, which is this first one here, or V, the keyboard shortcut. And then the easiest thing is just give it a nudge with moving the right arrow on the keyboard. Let me know if you have any questions. This is definitely a nice little technique for adding your watermark and overlay to your images. There's actually a number of good graphic design applications as well. Again, let me know if you have any questions for this, or if there's any other technique that you'd like to see me explain. Thank you very much.